In the north of Manchester, the stories are older, much older. Before industry, before streets, before the city itself, there were things people feared in the dark. And some say they're still here. While much of Manchester grew through industry, the north held on to something older. Here, folklore wasn't shaped by factories, but by the landscape, by isolation, and by the unknown. These weren't just stories, they were warnings.
Welcome to Mysterious Lore. The Black Dog of the Irk Valley.
Near the River Irk, where the land dips low and the light fades early, there are stories of dogs. Large, black and silent. It doesn't bark, it doesn't chase, it just appears, walking beside you, matching your pace, just out of reach. Then it's gone. In northern folklore, black dogs are rarely good omens. They are watchers, guardians, or warnings. Some say if you see it once, nothing happens. But if you see it twice, something in your life is about to change. And not for the better. Tucked away here in a place with a name that carries meaning, Boggart Hole Clough, a name that comes from something feared from generations, the Boggart. In northern folklore, a Boggart is not a ghost. Not exactly. It's something else. It's a presence. Mischievous. Sometimes malicious. It hides in homes, in fields, in forests like this. And once you find it and it finds you, it never leaves. Families believe Boggarts followed them home, from house to house, from place to place. No matter how far they went, they couldn't escape. Even today, people report something here at Boggart Hole Clough, a feeling, being watched, not alone.
the Beast of BelleVue.
Many decades behind me used to be a zoo. People came from across Britain to see creatures that they never imagined. Lions, bears, wolves. For decades, the sounds of animals echoed through Manchester's streets at night. Then the zoo closed, the cages emptied, and the crowds vanished. But some people claimed the sounds didn't stop. Laughter late at night. Near the old grounds, there were reports of breathing in the dark, heavy movements behind fences, low growls, and no visible source. One security worker claimed he saw a large black shape moving silently across the old pathways. Not a dog, not a person. Too large, too deliberate. When he shone his torch towards it, the eyes reflected first, then nothing else. As though the darkness itself had looked back at him.
The Cathedral's ominous black dog.
For centuries, Manchester Cathedral has stood as a place of reflection, a place people come to for quiet, for prayer, and for answers. But, like many places with a long history, it has stories. One of these stories keeps coming back. A creature, a dark hound, seen before tragedy. An omen, appearing when something is about to go wrong. The idea of a black dog isn't unique to Manchester. Across Britain, stories like this have existed for centuries. Large shadow-like animals, seen at night, often silent, sometimes with glowing eyes, sometimes seen only for a moment out of the corner of the eye before disappearing. In Manchester, the story centres here, around the cathedral, a place that has seen war, bombings and loss. During the Second World War, this area was hit quite badly during the Manchester Blitz. Buildings were destroyed, lives were lost, and some believe the city never fully let go of that moment. There are reports, quiet ones, passed between people rather than officially recorded, of something seen near the cathedral late at night, a shape moving through the shadows. low to the ground, too large to be a normal dog. And then it's gone, as quickly as it appeared. In all the folklore, seeing a black dog was never a good sign. It didn't attack. It didn't chase. It simply appeared, just like that pigeon. And that was enough, because its presence meant something else was coming. Some describe it as a warning, others as a witness. A creature that appears at moments where history is about to change. Whether you believe the stories or not, places like this have seen enough to make people wonder.
The Occult Secrets of John Dee.
Since the medieval period, Chetham's Library has stood in the centre of Manchester, a place of knowledge, of history and of silence. It's one of the oldest public libraries in the English-speaking world. When you step inside, you feel the age of the building, the weight of everything it's held. Rows of books, wood worn smooth over centuries, and quiet that feels almost unnatural. The kind of quiet where every small sound stands out. A floorboard, a breath, a movement. But it's not just the building itself, it's the stories attached to it. One in particular has lasted for generations. A mark pressed into the wood of a desk. Dark, unusual, and shaped like a hoof print. According to local legend, this mark wasn't made by accident. It wasn't wear and tear, it wasn't damage, it was left behind by something else. Some say the devil himself. The story goes that a scholar working late into the night was searching for knowledge he wasn't meant to find. Something hidden, something forbidden. And in that moment, he wasn't alone. A presence entering the room. A presence entered the room, not clearly seen, but felt something heavy. Something was wrong. And when it left, the mark remained. Whether this story is true or not, the mark still exists. And people still talk about it to this day. But that's not the only thing reported here. Visitors and staff have described other experiences. Footsteps in empty corridors. The feeling of somebody standing behind you. When no one is there, cold spots in otherwise still air. Moments where the silence doesn't feel natural anymore. It's the kind of place where your senses start to question things, where every sound feels amplified, every shadow slightly deeper than it should be. Of course, there are explanations. Only old buildings make noise. Wood shifts. Light changes. But stories like this don't just disappear. They stay passed on through generations. Folklore like this predates the city itself. Boggarts, black dogs, spirits of land and water. They appear across Britain, often tied to fear of the unknown, to natural dangers, to places people didn't fully understand. Dark woods, deep water, open moorland, places where survival was never guaranteed. But folklore also serves a purpose. Warnings, boundaries, ways of saying don't go there. And yet, some experiences remain consistent across generations, across locations. So the question becomes, are these just stories created to explain fear, or memories of something we've chosen to forget? Gone. Manchester didn't begin with buildings, it began with land. And whatever lived on that land didn't simply disappear. When the city arrived, it adapted, it waited, it watched, and maybe it's still there. Next time we'll be looking at the modern city. We won't be looking up at the tall buildings, we'll be looking down at what's underneath, the ghosts below the city. Thank you for watching this video. If you like what you've seen, give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing. If you've been to any of these places and have your own experiences, or there's somewhere that you'd like us to go and tell the story of, leave it in the comments and we can have a look at it. Thank you.